Okay, I will show you my new purchase for my garden. It's changing rapidly recently because I've got lots of new flowers which still waiting to be planted, and I'm creating new garden borders. And in today's video I just wanted to share with you my latest, I think the best purchase so far, and that will be hydrangeas. And those hydrangeas I just recently purchased and from B&Q, and they are called teddy bear. I came across it, I just could not leave them. They look incredible, and I'll be creating a border, hydrangeas border. As you can see in here, I will just show you a little bit more about them. They cost £12 per one at B&Q. Flower year after year, so it's beautiful, it's investment. It's not a lot of money, I wouldn't think. They can reach even 250 centimeters in 5 to 10 years, so be aware they're gonna grow really tall. And most soils are fine, but I'm gonna show you what is the best soil for it, and it loves full sun. Don't be afraid if you've got garden hydrangeas in your garden. Those hydrangeas can be burned, the flowers can be burned with the sun. This one loves full sun, so you don't have to be aware of, worry about that one. It will be growing beautifully in full sun, and that is the best position for this one. So you need to find a good spot in your garden which has lots of sunshine, and this is the position in mine. I'm gonna be planting them in here in a row. I'm gonna get rid of all this. I've got a trampoline in here if you wonder why looking like a awful space in here. There is a trampoline here which I moved just for the purpose of this video so I can plant them. I'm gonna explain how to plant them in here, what's the rules and all that in a second as well. So as you can see in here, they are lovely, very healthy plants. They don't require much looking after, so very simple. Probably they look, from the experience now I can tell you that they don't need so much looking after like garden one, and they're gonna look more impressive in your garden. So that's the good thing about this straight away. What else you need to know is that they've got beautiful heavy flowers. They're gonna be really big and heavy, and for most of the hydrangeas, especially the one which growing really tall and you can use them for borders, they are so heavy that sometimes the plant is not keeping up to holding them, and they can go down like this one, or after very heavy rain you might have an issue with them like one I have in here. So especially if you live in England, what you want to do is want to buy support for them. In the first year it shouldn't happen. With the most recommended hydrangeas for borders are limelight and polar bear, excuse me. Polar bear is probably the second best one for a border, and this one is a polar bear. The only thing why I didn't buy a limelight for creating a border is because I already got a limelight hydrangea in here, so I didn't want to have exactly the same plants all over my garden, especially that my garden is quite small. So this is why, the reason why I haven't used those got, in generally you can see in here, larger flower, and they are stronger, which means they're gonna hold the most heavy flower no problem without any support. I purchased this support in here only for my polar bear hydrangeas. I just wanted to basically see how it's gonna look. But basically the support is quite tall, as you can see here, because they're gonna be growing very tall, and in the first year especially they're quite weak. If you're planning to create a border from hydrangeas, go for limelight. Second choice, polar bear. Polar bear is a little tiny bit weaker, and especially in the first year when your plant is establishing the roots, it might need that extra support, or if there are heavy rains like in England. So I would recommend to get a support. And yeah, other than that it doesn't need much looking after. You just need to prune it early in spring, around March time, 20 centimeters from the ground. That's all you have to do, and then feed it twice in a season. and that's it, and you will enjoy it. It will be the most beautiful plant you can own in your garden, so definitely go for it and you won't regret it. Okay, this is the best soil for your hydrangeas. It's very important what kind of soil you're gonna use when planting, because hydrangeas love a lot of water, so you need to make sure to water regularly, especially in the hot days. And the water can't just be standing there, because that's obviously gonna cause lots of problems with your plants. So the water needs to be very good and basically go through to the roots. And this is why you need a really good compost. So the pink one, usually we'll find it anywhere, and that's the pink one, and this is the proper name for it. Okay, just quickly about planting them. This is very important, especially this video is about the planting them. So the general rule is 100 centimeters from the fence and 100 centimeters from one to the other when you're creating a border. And I'm thinking, because I've got a very small garden, I'm gonna be planting it 70 centimeters from the fence and 70 centimeters from one to the other, a bit closer than recommended. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the difference between the polar bear and limelight. If you're planning to make a border with hydrangeas, definitely go for limelight. And the main reason is that, as you can see in here, the leaves are much greener. This one got smaller leaves. The flowers are also big, but those are definitely bigger. So this is a limelight. This one is a polar bear. As you can see in here, the flower will be smaller. This one is definitely larger flowers, more greener, and also you can see those parts of the plant are much stronger to hold your flower, very heavy flower, where polar bear, it's much thinner. Can you see? It is much thinner, and you can have problems later on. You might not have, but you might experience something like this. So just be aware of that if you are deciding to actually go for polar bear like because I could not resist having 4 polar bears in my garden and tell everyone. Then I would say get yourself a support like this one. This one is very universal, nice metal support. It has to be solid support, so get yourself that and you are good to go. The choice is yours, which one you prefer. Put in here 4 polar bear hydrangeas, and I'm sure they're gonna look beautiful in my garden or any garden. So please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. You can follow how they're gonna be growing comparing to limelight hydrangea. Okay, the last and probably the most important thing about planting them is that you should be avoiding planting them too late, which is basically late autumn, and the reason for that is that it won't have enough time to establish the roots system, and obviously there is chances that the frost might just kill it, so I wouldn't risk it. I'm planting mine 13th of July. Okay, this is before I'm gonna create my hydrangeas border, and this is the most sunny spot in my whole entire garden, and that's where I'm gonna be planting them. So it's before, and I'm gonna show you in a second after. I'll show you final result of my hydrangeas border. So we got them in here. And don't forget guys, I'm gonna have a trampoline move back in here, so I have to move it back. I was hoping for 4 of them, but I only fitted 3, but that's fine. So we've got hydrangeas in here, polar bear of course, and the spaces are 70 centimeters just because I've got smaller garden, but always recommended 100 centimeters, and you need to have 100 centimeters from the fence to your hydrangeas, from the hydrangea to hydrangea, 100 centimeter, 100 centimeter. I've got in here lilac, if anyone wondering, and there's a rose in here, climbing rose. So the background to our hydrangeas, there will be a verbena. We've got really beautiful flowers like this, and I hope you can see. The problem is that verbena can start affecting hydrangeas because it spreads really quickly. It's quite tall, so I wanted to avoid this. So in here I've got a gap, and there will be trampoline in here, so I put verbena in here in the background, and I've got gap in here because I don't want it to go over my climbing rows. And we'll see how we're gonna go. If verbena easily spreads and it's gonna be too much for hydrangeas and it's gonna affect them to grow, then I'm probably gonna get rid of them. But for now, I think it might be a good idea to have a little bit of nice blue background with hydrangeas, especially that hydrangeas, they basically in a later stage there will be quite dark and dry flowers for most of the winter, so they will be not very interesting. So I need something in the background like that, like this nice verbena there. So that's the final look, and we'll be looking after them and see them grow. So that's everything for today's video. I'll see you in my next time. Make sure you subscribe.